Well, to fight against America's opioid crisis, community organizations are working to educate the public about a new drug increasingly found to be mixed with other street drugs like fentanyl or heroin. The skin-rotting sedative and anesthetic is called xylazine. Isabel Garcia joins us now in studio with more on this. Izzy.
Yes, Adam, good evening to you. Xylazine is not an opioid, and it's typically used by vets as a horse or large animal tranquilizer. It's also not approved for use in humans. Drug enforcement agency officials say tranq is being intentionally cut in with other drugs like fentanyl. Locally, Trillium Health is one location offering some assistance for users. Referred to as tranq on the streets, the drug xylazine also has a nickname of the zombie drug. Much of this is due to the severe wounds which can come as a result. Xylazine is increasingly being found mixed with the already deadly opioid fentanyl.
When they are ready, and if they are ready to receive services, this is where they're going to come.
Trillium Health in Rochester offers a range of services for active drug users, this within the agency's harm reduction program on Delavan Street. It includes clean syringes and/or needles, testing strips to check the drug supply, and more. Also on-site medical care.
And if they have wounds, which is a big thing that we're starting to see, is different wounds with the xylazine, we have medical care immediately that we can have them at least talk to somebody so that they better understand what's happening.
Xylazine is not approved for use in humans. It's quite literally a horse tranquilizer. The impacts of exposure can be severe and serious. Jim Wesley is a drug testing expert, utilizing his 4 decades of experience as a clinical forensic scientist as now a consultant.
The issue is not only is it a strong sedative, it causes a tissue necrosis because it shrinks or constricts the blood vessels in the arms and legs. You don't get blood flow, and then the tissues die, and then they get abscessed and they rot, and you can have gangrene and amputation.
The DEA says xylazine and fentanyl mixtures have been found in 48 of 50 states' illicit drug supply. Another concern, the trend continuing to permeate further into other forms. And since xylazine is not an opioid, things like Narcan, which can reverse the effects of an overdose, won't always work.
It's just a matter of time till this cheap, deadly thing works its way to the guy who's pressing pills, and he says, I can't get any fentanyl, let's put the xylazine instead. And now we've got an individual at a party who takes it, Narcan doesn't work, and unless you can breathe for them, they're going to die.
Serious stuff indeed. Trillium Health experts do tell me since xylazine is mixed with other drugs like fentanyl, if you or someone you know is experiencing an overdose, they still recommend starting with Narcan, then immediately calling 911. With this special report, I'm Isabel Garcia.
Isabel, thank you. Now, earlier this month, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced 8 indictments against China-based chemical manufacturing companies and employees as it relates to disrupting the fentanyl supply chain. Senator Chuck Schumer is also pushing for legislation which would allow President Biden to impose sanctions on countries that produce such products like China and Mexico.